everyone, it's Summer here, and we're back with the rest of the, hopefully I can get the rest of the digital PowerPoint video done tonight. So, I hope you all watched part 1, and also, vote on my most recent poll for what video what franchise or series you want me to go over next. But for now we're on episode 26, episode 96, the invasion. So we have Shredder thinks about Krang talks to the Krang. April and Irma walk together when they get attacked by footbots. While elsewhere, in the same rapid Casey are looking for Cry, and the other children are talking about how to stop the Krang invasion. April and Irma must have stored elsewhere in the same raft find Cry. April and Irma to the turtles, and we find out the lair, now that the Krang know what the lair is. Well, Irma is first of all a Krang controlled by Krang Subprime, and now they can launch the full-scale invasion after finding the lair. So they're fighting the Krang, and they run through the sewers, and Leo tells Donnie, Mikey, and April to leave while he leads the Krang away. As well as fighting Krang Prime and elsewhere the footbots and elsewhere Leo fights footbots while Shredder watches. Krang Prime arrives and starts meeting everyone's weird Krang people, and we see a report of the invasion. The military try to fight against Krang Prime, but obviously it doesn't work. Leo fights footballs and Splinter fights the Krang in the sewers, and then Leatherhead shows up to help. So obviously he helps. The trolls, and then they go, and then Splinter and Leatherhead go to fight the turtles. And Leo fights Rosler, Fishface, and Tiger Claw before Shredder faces him. They go to bail the turtles while Shredder faces Splinter, and Leo is thrown through April's window. Slide 2. Okay. As they make their way through the city, Kirby April's bed mutated. They drive off and Leo is really injured. Splinter fights Shredder. Leatherhead shows up to help again. The turtles and April go to find Splinter, and they find him missing, so they all gather one meaningful thing from the lair to take with them. They see Splinter fight Shredder, and Shredder wins. The turtles use the turtleneck. They go to Shredder's lair and fight Krang Prime. Krang Prime is almost defeated with the mech, but the mech is fried now. April defeats Krang Prime with her mind. They decide to leave the city, and April says they can go to her old family home upstate, and they can stay as long as they want since no one's around for miles. And then Cry saves Splinter for the episode fades to black. Scene 3 episode 5 in Dreams. Donnie's being chased by Weaver, and the other turtles train and Weaver and Donnie is asleep, and April and Casey go to the store, and Leo's leg is hurt. It's been hurt since the beginning of the season. Leo goes to sleep and is healed by Weaver. We meet Bernie, and Casey finds a book called the Obtractum Somniorum that no one touches because reasons. So as we leave, Maria has been entirely leaving Weaver named Dire Weaver, and we learn to sleep. Same with Mikey and Matt, they both go to sleep, and when April gets trying to see them sleep, April notices something is wrong. We were chasing. 2016 Donnie is dreaming named Dark Fever, and Donnie believes it's a dream. Weaver, Mikey, and Matt, they both go to sleep, and when April gets trying to see them sleep, April notices something is wrong. We were chasing Donnie in a dream named Dark Fever, and Donnie believes it's a dream. He tries kicking them, and April says that's not gonna work. And then this is all I get. And April's like, that's not gonna work, Casey. Well, it's worth a try. Plus, I most kind of want to do that. Then April says, I don't understand why they won't wake up. It's like they're trapped in their dreams. And from this line, they realize that they're trapped in their dreams. For real. Math means dreaming, making me Steve here. This is Steve, by the way. He's cool. Anyways. Everyone says their pulse are getting weaker, like something is draining the life out of them. And she says she thinks Sunroom is land for dreams. Someone tries to reach them as they fight the viewers, and Nate tells Mikey that he's draining the life force. Ray chases Casey around with a chainsaw, and when Casey tries to look. All the children are now in the same dream, and they realize they are in a dream. The viewers tell us this line. You think you're alone in a dream, but for years, we've looked in this dream dimension. The light force of humans, spitting them dry. Slide 2. We're talking about the dreamers, and this is the whole story to this. So brings a hero from another dimension. You see, all began 4 years ago. And then Katie says this line. Nobody cares, dude. Bernie says, I'm in physics trying to prove my theory that our dreams take place in a dimension of their own. When an effective portal projector short-circuited, I lost consciousness. The dream viewers have been able to break through to our reality, but instead they materialized in the dream dimension. In my dream, when I woke, they were trapped in the world of dreams. And he says that's what off-track syndrome means. He told us that off-track syndrome means dream plug. He takes Freddy to help the turtles. The turtles fight the viewers and almost made into food in their dreams. We don't think we've heard them that much, but okay. This is a dream. April is slapping them, and Murray says that he can't wake them up until Casey frees them by smashing the dream plug. And they are tiny, and leave Murray learns him to wait for 4 years for no good reason. Season 3, Episode 7, Eyes of the Chimera. A bird catches a fish and is hit with mutagen from a car race with a car in race with a demon, which is now a mutant. Donnie is trying to test April's psychic powers with a psychic neurotransmitter he salvaged from a crankship buried in Buried Secrets. There are 2 previous episodes in the series. 14 came before in dreams, and Race with the Demon came right before this episode. Leo fights Rabbit and Casey with his hurt leg. The neurotransmitter connects April to this chimera-like creature. It's a worm bird fish mutant, and she's seeing through its eyes. Mikey, Raph, Donnie, and Casey are taken to its nest. April feels the monster's hunger and realizes it took them for food. April also can't see properly at the moment, and Leo can't walk, but they go to save the others anyway. Donnie realized that him and the others fell around trapped in a giant geyser. Well, they fell into a hole and now they're trapped in a geyser. April tries to eat Leo because of connection to the monster, but Leo snaps her out of it and can now stand properly for some reason. The Charles and Casey try to get out and fail, while the Chimera captures Leo and April, but they free themselves. They run from an avalanche after getting the others out of the geyser. April can now see again, and April and I talked about what happened. Season 3, Episode 8, Fishing Quest. So Leo hunts in the woods and attacks by you. The others are trained by cracking logs. Leo comes back and says, we're so common teeth on nuclear and TV that we become an leader. A true ninja must become one with the express himself. The Mikey says, hey, leave TV out of this. You must explain it. He said, only when you come home with nature can you make peace with yourself. Rev says, wait, are we hippies? We're ninjas. Leo said, and Leo finishes off this line by saying, well, this is meditation and practice awareness in the woods. Only emo we can forge. The children go in slowly, and Leo also says that they've already mastered their weapons, stealth, and head combat, but they still have to achieve the first of 18 unique disciplines. The sentence, I hate ways, but I copy a hard word into a script, then come across it later, or we have to pronounce the dang thing. So being pronounced sentence to you, or spiritual refinement, all true ninjas must master it. So we see much of them meditating and surviving in the woods. They see the deer from earlier, and they attack, and then attack it because it looks like a man, and later tries to stop them. Before that, Nami says that in the Shinto religion, they're considered measures of the divine, and might mean they're on their path. Then I have fire later that Winter's spirit spiritualism says, my spirit has become detached from my body, but the body still lives. The lady says, you're alive? Where are you, Sensei? Let's help you. But you cannot yet. There's so much you must overcome. If you cannot find your inner spiritual strength, you will not stand a chance against the Shredder. This is message my injury. It's physical. It's not you. And then Splinter says, we choose what holds us back and what moves us forward. You will all learn this. Each of you must journey on alone to face your spiritual adversary. Your temper is like a fire that you must learn to focus for power. Michelangelo, it might be overwhelmed with distractions. Learn to be strong and calm like before. Don't tell you rely too much on your mind and not on your body. Be strong like the mountain. Leonardo, you must be the leader in body and spirit. Be like the wind, nothing holds you down. Sleep now, my sons. For the righteous trial waits on the spiritual plane. For the challenges you face there will be just as deadly as those you face in the real world. Be warned. So slide 2. In the morning, they sail alone after making the armor weapons. During a montage that we get to see. The traveler alone Leo ends up on a bridge, Raph ends up in a cave, Zoe ends up on a mountain, and Mikey ends up in a forest. Each with a foot soldier army to fight. Leo's spiritual officer Shredder Raph's his fish face, Zoe's Tyler, and Mikey's his Razar. So they fight them, they all win, Leo realizes the pain leg is only in his head, and they all decide to go back to New York. Which happened in this episode, Return to New York. They watch TV and Celsius spends a new part and he talks like crying. They plan how to get to see by improving the party wagon with weapons. They leave for the city and discuss what's planned when they arrive. And they get stuck just outside the city. They get inside and fight crying droids and hide from them as they head for the lair. And no humans are left in New York. They go to find Splinter at the lair, but they can't find him and they have a crying moment to make sure they don't come back. April sends a Splinter and they go to find him, but he's lost his mind and is out of control. The Fifth was captured to take him to Shredder. Shredder takes him to Baxter Stockman to restore Splinter's mind and make him fully aware of who and where he is before he finishes him off. Light opens the tunnel and they fight a mini Shredder. They find Splinter and free him while April tries to reach him. They fight Stockman and the Shredder mutants. April reaches Splinter, Mikey sets off an alarm, and Splinter attacks. Tackle almost catches him, and they set up home at Antonio's pizza shop from the episode Pizza Base. Episode 18, Deadly Venom. Roxanne is able to turn Cora human again and gives her a mind control parasite. That's why I'm not sure if April was able to turn back human in the previous episode. It wasn't her in the episode, Vengeance Mind if Cora could turn back into her human form. But I'm taking this to mean that she couldn't until now. As Shredder orders Cora to fight Roxy and stops on his request, now that she has the mission to destroy the Splinter Turtles, Casey, and April. The Paraffin makes her completely immune to Shredder, by the way. Forgot to mention that. Leo and Splinter do battle training, and by this point they have the layer pack. While Leo's watch, he teaches Leo the healing hand and stays back to normal as April heads home. In April's dream, she faces a giant snake, and when she wakes up there are many small ones and she is bitten and poisoned. Kirby takes her to the turtles. Casey alerts the turtles when he's attacked. This very probably hasn't been to send the turtles a distress signal, apparently. Kawaii poisons him by kissing him, and she explains that her venom, and she explains her venom. So Casey's like, well, it was crazy. I mean, it was, don't get me wrong, it was nice and all, but why would I let know? And then Kawaii says, venom is the only way that fixes my venom. Some go faster than others. First, weakness, then paralysis, then blackout. In a second, and I'm going to poison the turtles one by one. So she leaves once, and then Raph and Mikey find him. And while this is happening, Donnie's having the April and now the anti-venom are working. And when Raph and Mikey find Casey, they are also bitten by the venomous snakes. Leo's getting a call from Cora to meet her at the old man in Greenwich Street station, and to bring Donnie with them. We're going to try and get the point out of April's system with the ancient poison drain mantra with the healing hand. And Leo has to go through the sewer and they start to feel dizzy. Then I got the sewer and start to feel dizzy. Crisis by venom is a highly toxic in any form, even in water. It seeps through the skin in seconds. And they both fall to the ground. She has them hung by the wrist and says, the poison is slow, within that hour you will all perish. I don't care about any of you. You're nothing more than a means to get to Splinter. The room will eventually come for you, and then I'll have my revenge. Look where he's doing this. Leo works on the healing himself, and it works because kids show. He fights Cry, and later Splinter helps April and says, April, the poison is still inside you. I can slow it down. Well, you can defeat it. Curry says, what do you think? I'm calling the hospital. Splinter says, no, this venom has no cure. Only the monsters can save her now. Leo takes the other to Leo. Leo's taking a healing hand and sings with Splinter. They heal each other and Splinter for April. Leo defeats Cry and April is saved, and Splinter saves the others. Next episode is episode 19, Turtles in Time. The turtles look for Cry, but it's probably been weeks since the last episode. A magic door opens in the sky, and a girl falls out of it and calls the turtles the Turtle Warriors of Legend. She says her name is Brunette, and she's the assistant Time Master in training. We learn she was followed by an evil creature named Spontaneous Marrow. As they fight, we learn this show is set in the 21st century. And Renee tells us a story. In the future, we Time Masters are protectors of time, space, and reality itself. I'm the apprentice of the top guide order, Lord Simultaneous. Last night, someone tried to steal Time Scepter, a piece of tech so advanced now. It not only can control time, but it can bend reality itself. It was Sabanti, the evil mutant Time Master. With the scepter, he could rule all of reality, changing history to suit his cruel whims. So he took it from it and used it to lure him to the area he knew he could defeat it in. Now by the famous Turtle Warriors. So long as he's being changed in the past, trying to wipe them out in the present. So obviously they go to stop it after him, and it ends up they went to medieval times, specifically England, in the year 180 AD. They changed into their costume from Mason and mutants and fight some knights. When the monsters will find them, the time zone sucks them into a time loop. They ride horses through the cemetery after getting out of that time loop. The day comes to life and fight them, and they go to a tower. They find him and fight for the scepter. One of them takes order to come back to the future and is grounded, and she is grounded. And she says she will return after helping with the turtle in their time. And they head home, but some time in Japan and run into ninjas. So, episode 20, Tale of the Yokai. This happens right after the last episode. So they run from ninjas and try to figure out where point in time they are when Leo sees the Hamato clan symbol on a throwing star. If you didn't know, the Hamato clan is, if you remember from earlier, Splinter is part of the Hamato clan, but doesn't exist anymore. Arokasaki, aka the Shredder, arrives and calls himself Yokai. The turtle recognizes the Shredder even though he is 16 years younger at this point. After running away to talk about one point in time there, Donnie, Arokasaki was part of the Hamato clan before he became the Shredder. Leo. So we're at least 16 years in the past. But why here? Why now? No, swing back is over Red's fault. She doesn't know the first thing about time travel. They find Splinter's old dojo and see human Splinter, aka Matsuyoshi. Donnie explains that the yokai are mythical Japanese monsters. They spot the shadows and turtles, but don't see them. We meet Tangshin and Baby Cry, aka Miwa. When Tangshin meets the turtles, she scares them and Orokosaki fights them, but they both believe they are yokai. Ralph wants to take the Shredder down, but Donnie says they can't interfere with history. Donnie looks at a photo of them with Casey and April, and Casey's fading like they never knew him. History was already being altered. The turtles have Tangshin and are called Kappa, turtle yokai, and says their favorite food is cucumber, but we all know it's pizza. He tells us about how Kappa helped a young girl once, and turtles say that she should choose Hamato Yoshi, not Orokosaki. Now April is fading, and Leo said they need to destroy the Shredder. We see when Shredder learned he was part of the Foot Clan. Media seconds live for the Tale of the Yokai episode. This is Baby Miwa. It's cute. That's adorable. And there's Tangshin. That's what she looks like. He said So Shredder says this. The Foot Clan was the oldest of all ninja clans, but was wiped out by the Hamato Yuta when he slain his master Oroka Kenji. My father. I was adopted by the Hamato clan and raised as an infant, raised by my enemy in ignorance. But I will have revenge on them all. The turtles fight the Foot Ninjas, and Orokosaki finds that Tangshin shows Hamato Yoshi, so he fights them obviously. The dojo is now on fire, and we see the fight Splinter had mentioned in previous episodes. We also see a Shredder named Cry, and how he got his face burnt. The turtles save Splinter, then everything's back to normal, and we find them after apparently 6 months, and says the scepter had brought them there to make sure Splinter survives. She says, "The sister brought you here to make sure Splinter survives." And they go back to the present, and the episode ends there. Episode 23, The Fourfold Trap. Wrapping up Disney in a storeroom that keeps getting hotter and hotter. We had 6 hours earlier of Johnny trying to figure out a cure for the brainworm, and Baxter get correct in the Deadly Venom episode. Johnny goes to meet April, and is trapped. Then Johnny tells Mikey to come to Mr. McCormick's try a special pizza gyoza. But not tell the others, so he also gets trapped and falls unconscious. Everyone shows up in the lair, so they think they were learning to trap. Mikey sends take about the crane to April. Rev and Leo go to find Mikey and Johnny. When they go to save him, it turns out they were hollered and a voice is there, and now they are trapped. They fight toward mutant henchmen. Each one is trapped. Rex is called the Hothead. This is the Courage Slayer, which is basically as well as his own, with the speed crank them to 100. Dies is the Brain Boggler. He has the red pieces that appear as they appear, and make him think he gets left. Mikey is in the Flush-O-Matic. Once the tanks are full, it'll reach an armor Mikey. April changed it with Karai, and April calls Splinter, and Karai takes over the call. Splinter fights people at Rocksteady once fighting Karai. He fights Rosa on Fish Face and also fights Tigerclaw and Karai. They free Raptor from escaping, but Leo finds him and fights with him and saves as they get Mikey out of his trap too. Then the Mikey frees Donnie. Winter uses the healing hand and on Cry. Our work with Cry is also washed away by some sewage. The turtle are now free, and Karai throws up the brainworm. So, episode 24, Dinosaurs Saving Sewers. Again, I'm just gonna quickly check some time. Okay. So I gotta get back into my slideshow. Current slide, here we are. So Dinosaurs Saving Sewers. Dr. Rockwell and Slash look around the search for a dinosaur and meet the dino after a little bit. Warp is out with the other sequel we watched last episode of a show called Crocodile the Barbarian and find it very anticlimactic. We're just gonna finish this season and then they'll do the rest. Last two seasons hopefully tomorrow. I just don't have them in tonight. So Rockwell and Raph need help and we find out Slash is knocked out cold. And Raph is looking for this dino on his own and later fights him. While Raph is doing this, Rockwell takes Slash to the lair. Raph finds out a cage Triceratops dreams off by being commanded Commander Zorath. They follow to find Krang and they learn the Triceratons need nitrogen to breathe. They find Secret Krang base and defeat some Krang and go through the Krang portal. They learn the Statue of Liberty is a Secret Krang base, which is surprising. Zog finds his old gear and now they can breathe again and fight the turtles. Zog has a signal beacon and Zog dies and then Triceratons get a signal and head for Earth. Now this is a two-sided episode. Episode 94, Annihilation Earth. We get previously on TMNT line, and Turtle tell Casey about April. and fight with the Triceratons. The Krang follow them and leave them a message to meet at 3117 Bayfront Street at midnight at Chesapeake, a Bishop. They see it was the same place they fought Tiger Claw in the Wrath of Tiger Claw. As Bishop tells them to stop talking to and leave, he says, "You can call me by my Earth name, Bishop." Casey says, "Look just like a Krang." Then Bishop says, "I literally created this body. The Krang copied me. I am a member of the Utron tribe, a small group of Krang defectors who broke away from the Krang hive mind many centuries ago." Then I said, "Fascinating. It makes no sense that the Krang would share a hive mind. A really stupid hive mind." I thought it was funny, so I waddled at it into the PowerPoint. Bishop tells them the Triceratons are coming, and both Krang and Triceratons are planning to invade. April asks why the Triceratons hate the Krang, and Bishop says this: "For millennia, the two species have fought over Dimension X. The Krang and their intelligence use their intelligence battle with foe, but the Triceratons relied on brute strength. It seems the Triceratons win, but the Krang used the most powerful weapon in the universe, a black hole generator, that's wiped out the entire Triceratons' entire planet. Only a single Triceratops fleet survived. Battle may have ended, but the war is still raging across Dimension X." At the lair, Splinter takes care of Rockwell and Flash, while Leatherhead waits there, but the Turtles arrive with Bishop. Leatherhead attacks since Bishop looks like Krang. They calm Leatherhead down and make a plan to take down the Technodrome. The Technodrome rises, Raph, Donnie, Mikey, and Leatherhead try to take it out, but can't, and they are captured while the others head in. The Triceratons take over the TV and tell everyone that the planet will be destroyed. The Turtles fly a stealth ship, and the Thunder with Donnie and something are hit at the same, and some of the Triceratons are taking out the Technodrome. Annihilation Earth Flight 2. The Triceratons destroy the Technodrome. The Triceratons are firing up the black hole generator as they fight them by losing. That's the end of part 1. Part 2 of this episode. Bishop is down and reinforcements arrive. Captain Moser captures Mikey and beams up to the ship, but he tries to find his way out but fails immediately. Ken Moser is like high extractor, but it's only supposed to be used on their greatest war criminals. But the soldier has to ready it anyway. Shredder says he and April will allow themselves the Shredder to stop the Triceratons. Leo, Raph, and Donnie go to see Mikey. Mikey tried to tighten the psychotic connection. They say this machine will drain your knowledge of Earth, the Krang, and in the process, your psyche will be sliced, baked, and chopped, and removed from your puny brain. But he isn't working on Mikey, so they wrote the film. Before he says he knows the secret Krang bases in Dimension X, everyone Splinter get into a fight with the mutant henchman and then talk to Shredder. The Turtles use the ship to find Mikey, and the ship gets blown up, but somehow Donnie's the teleporter and goes to the ship with it. Shredder's henchman helps Splinter, and Mikey gets the others back to Earth. Shredder kills Splinter, and the black hole generator starts up, sucking up everything, and specifically a spaceship with a robot arrives to rescue the Turtles, April and Casey. My name is Professor Zayden Honeycutt, and you, my friends, are about to work on a wondrous adventure. And that's the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.